Hey YouTube, what's going on? I apologize for the lack of, I guess, episodes in Scribblenauts and Skyrim. I have been a little bit of under the weather lately, and I'm waiting before I finish Scribblenauts before I record Skyrim. So that's why I haven't done it, but I haven't been able to actually record Scribblenauts because I've been feeling kind of bad lately. I'm a little bit sick, so yeah, it kind of sucks, but I'll be okay. But anyways, what I want to talk about today was the this whole idea, this whole concept of having a console, a next generation console, be it the Xbox 720 or the PS4, be always on, meaning using internet all the time. So you wouldn't be able to actually use a console without having it be connected to the internet. Now the idea is not new. There's been games, obviously, outside of online games, things like Diablo 3, which doesn't really require for it to be online, but it still does. I mean, there's a reason for that because of the auction house, but it doesn't really need to. Then there is SimCity, the new one, which I believe is also always on, which they probably do also have their own ridiculous reasons for it to be like that, but it doesn't really need to. And it's curious. I find this whole thing very curious because personally, I don't have a problem with it right now because my computer, my consoles, they're always connected to the internet. I don't really get those issues with my internet too often, where my internet just like cuts off or whatever. I don't get those problems almost at all, at least recently. I don't get that. But I have been in a position where my internet wasn't so reliable and or powerful enough to be able to handle most things. I used to live back in Panama, and the internet over there is not as great, and I used to suffer these things, internet disconnecting all the time, and then the internet being only like 1 megabit down. It's terrible internet connection. I couldn't play Diablo. Right, I bought Diablo, you guys probably know this already. I bought Diablo, I played it, and I couldn't actually play it. It wasn't playable for me because it required constant internet connection, but not just that, but the items, the combat, everything was linked to the internet, and the server actually handled everything, which meant that I couldn't play it. It was laggy. Like it was so laggy for me that I literally couldn't play until like I moved here to Germany, and then I've been playing it back again. But those type of things affect people. So it's right now it doesn't affect me, but I know how it feels, and I know that it can happen, to have like people just simply not being able to connect their consoles to the internet. It happens. I mean, every time, like if I'm uploading, because it happens to me when I'm downloading something, or I'm downloading a game, or I'm uploading a video to YouTube. I cannot play online games, right? Usually the games that I go to are things like League of Legends. When I'm uploading a video or downloading another game, I cannot play League of Legends because it gets laggy, right? Because I'm downloading a game, I'm using the internet. When that happens to me and I really want to play something, I play on my console, right? Because the console doesn't require internet for me to be able to use it, so I can do that. I know how it is to live in a big house where someone is gonna be downloading something, right? I mean, you're trying to play your World of Warcraft at 8 p.m. at night, and your big brother is downloading music. I know how that feels, right? And probably a lot of you also know how that feels. So I know that it can be a really bad thing. At the same time, there is also the idea, the concept of, imagine how a game like, let's just pick a random single-player game, something like, well, no, actually, let's use a real-life example. Let's use Diablo. Diablo is a game that could perfectly work just by it being single-player, but when you add the multiplayer aspect to it, when you make it be only online, it adds this interface where you can actually talk to people. Like if it was an MMO, like people can just join in your server real quick, real easy. You have your list of friends where you can see them, you can see their levels, their equipment or whatever. They can join in, you can talk to them, you can join theirs. It creates this atmosphere, this like online gameplay style that is very appealing. People enjoy not being alone. They do enjoy that. So while at one point you have the argument of it sucks to have a console be always on because it's unreliable. On the other side, you have the pro of it adding features to it. When if a console would be only online, it would add so many online features to it, friend lists, or you could see people playing, you know, like other games or whatever. You know, it's just, I mean, I don't know what they would add with that. Like, I'm just speculating, but what I'm saying is that the amount of features and extra content that they could add to something like, even just something like the you know, like outside of the how you call that, outside of the actual game, when you're just looking at your menus or whatever, like you could see your friends playing games, like streaming or whatever. Like, they could add so many stuff. So I can understand both arguments. But I'm making this video because I want to know what you guys think. This could actually be a reality, and for those of you who do not know why am I bringing this up, there's actually a big rumor out there that the next Xbox, the Xbox 720, might actually be always online. Now, it's just a rumor. There is obviously no proof at this point, but it's highly speculated, and the rumors that the evidence seems to be piling up. Just recently, this guy called, I don't remember his name, Adam Orr or something. He was like, I think it was the creative director of the next Xbox. The guy actually made a series of tweets about his vision of why the Xbox, the next Xbox, should be always on. And he made this kind of a sarcastic kind of jokes about, like, he was saying things like, oh, I'm not gonna buy a vacuum cleaner because my electricity might, you know, might not work or whatever. And then he started saying something like, oh, I'm not gonna, and you know, this is out of the blue, like, just an example I'm giving. He would say something like, oh, I'm not gonna buy a Game Boy because batteries are unreliable. You know, like, he started kind of making a joke out of it. And then he was like, you know what, the Xbox, you know, might as well just be always on, deal with it. And it's just kind of, he seems like he got sacked for that. Xbox kind of took that seriously, and they whatever. But like, after that, I mean, having a creative director of Xbox just kind of go out and say deal with it, with you know, in a very sarcastic manner about having an Xbox be always on. And then the speculations, insiders of IGN and other networks, having people in that actually say this might actually be true. The evidence keeps piling up. Like, it's just a matter of fact. And it might happen. And I want to know what you guys think. Would you guys buy the next Xbox, even if it was always on? Or would you guys just go and buy the PS4? Like, let's just imagine for a second here, alright, that both consoles were of equal pricing and of equal power, right? Obviously the games are different on each console, but under the assumption that each console is kind of on the same bullet park in terms of price and power, would the Xbox being always on, would that actually persuade you to go to the PS4? Like, is that a deal breaker for you? Or is that something that really doesn't bother you at all? Because I know that, I mean, there's a lot of areas obviously around the world where the internet is like, it's a given, and good internet is a given. Like, I'm living here, and the basic kind of internet that you can get is almost like freaking 5 megabits download, or even 10. In Sweden, the basic one was 10 megabytes download. Like, it's just like, that's what they give to like everyone, you know? Like, I was a student, and I'm like, oh, I don't have money, please give me the most basic one. It's like, oh yeah, here, take 10 megabytes download for $10 a month. It was ridiculous. And I know there's a lot of places like those, but then again, there's also a lot of places where internet is, you know, it's kind of a hard thing to get, and I mean good internet. So I want to know what you guys think. Is that a deal breaker for you? What you guys think about the subject? And yeah, I just wanted to know that. Just putting it out there, making a conversation happen. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe, favorite, and I'll see you guys next time.